We will now sew the base to the gusset. But first, we are going to take our piece F exterior and we're going to sew it to our base interfacing. I used foam for this one, and you can use foam or Peltex or Decoval. This will just give the base of the purse a little bit more body and just be a little bit stiffer. It's not truly a stiff purse, but it's a little stiffer. And we are stitching all the way around from the exterior side with a 5/8 inch seam allowance. Now this seam will be visible in the finished purse. So stitch carefully. Okay, now you need to trim off this excess interfacing to keep it out of the seam allowance. I'm trying to ignore the fact that my 3-year-old is washing something at the kitchen sink and has been washing it for about 5 minutes. Okay, one thing I already did is I marked the centers on the bottom of the gusset, or the end of the gussets, and you'll also need to do the centers on each side. Okay, you will now grab your sewn gusset pocket pieces, or if you didn't sew the pockets, you'll need your pleated E piece. We are going to match together the center marks on each side. And then in between. Okay, I like to sew over this seam again and make sure that I stitch nice and securely over the pleats. So I go forward and back over the pleats. And that helps me feel secure with how it's stitched. Now I'm going to trim the seam to half this width which will make it sit nicer. There. And I will do the same thing on this side. Now this is definitely a little trickier with thicker vinyl or thicker fabric. So just take it slowly and pin carefully if you need to. And we will be pushing this seam towards the base, so when you are sewing the gusset, you will keep that seam towards the base, not away. All right, so your gusset is now complete.